just with all those castles up, oh, lost the castle from Priest. Just have a lot of arrow fire coming right now from those castles and those Chukanu. Doing a really great job at keeping up, opposed from mYsTikaLSouL not being able to keep up so much while he was Chinese. And here we have red players streaming more of those goths down to the bottom portion of the map, looking for a little more raiding. And looks like he's going to be kind of successful in that if he's able to find a breakthrough into those farms. Oh, sorry. Into those farms. He's going to be able to do a little more damage, but instead he decides to pull him back and attack that castle, protect his trebuchets with those units. And in the meantime, he does have units coming to the front lines. Doesn't care about the castle. He'll let that castle destroy his units, trying to take it down in the meantime with those trebuchets. Really great game coming from both players. Two very skilled players. This is just ending up to be a great game, but it does look like mYsTikaLSouL is the aggressor, being those goths. Priest is really going to have to pull something out of his ass in order to win this game. And he's already predicted that he's going to lose a little bit of that ground, being the Chinese. He's created those walls and gates in order for his economy to stay safe. Has a market up. Skilled players will have that market up, collect stone, sell off their stone for whatever resource they need, such as gold or food, considering what civilization you are. If you're a civilization of Chinese, you're probably going to need a lot of food and wood, and the goths are going to need a lot of food and gold. All of a sudden, it looks like Priest is able to take that top side of the map. All of a sudden, he is the attacker on the top side. And it looks like mYsTikaLSouL has forgot about the top side and is only worrying about the bottom side. So basically, you could say that it's pretty even right now. Priest has the top side, is more aggressor there. And here we have mYsTikaLSouL sending in a few units trying to stop those villagers from creating farms, trying to kill that army. Looks pretty even down here. Both players seem to have retreated. Here we have Priest going in with a trebuchet, with a single trebuchet, attacking that castle. And we're going to do a quick resource rundown. mYsTikaLSouL, very low on his gold, very low on his food, halfway decent on his lumber. Few idle villagers, but he did find him, sending him to work, looks like, for farms. And has a good amount of stone. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Priest. Priest has nothing of nothing. He absolutely has nothing. And there we have Priest resigning. Great game. A little closer of a game than the first game. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next one. All right, and welcome back. Now we just had mYsTikaLSouL win against Priest for Goths against Chinese. Both players were able to win with the Goth civilization. Both players lost with their Chinese civilizations. Now we're going into a third round to where both players are going to be, it's going to be a Mayans against Mayans. And as you can see, Priest decided to take all three of his villagers and create a market, getting that extra gold boost. And now he is creating 3 barracks. And we have, looks like mYsTikaLSouL did the exact same technique. It's going to be interesting to see who actually got that market. It seems that Priest got the market, having a lot more gold than mYsTikaLSouL. And he decided to send a villager pretty far away from his main base to try to build those houses. Most players would think the further you go away, the further you send your villager away to build those houses, the longer it takes to build those houses. But what it also does is make it to where it's harder for your enemy to find those houses. And we have Priest doing a great job of creating a fortified base to where those warriors are not able to get inside and attack those villagers. Right now, it would be a really good thing if he was able to have long-range units to attack from the inside of his base, but both players only have short-range units. Red player mYsTikaLSouL is going for a little bit different of a technique. He looks like he's trying to be a little more of the aggressor, not too much so. you couldn't really say that he's being very aggressive, just sending in a few units in there, trying to stop anything he can, but he's not going to be able to, considering that Priest has fortified his base so well, not leaving any gaps open. And there he has dropped a wall. Both players finally able to attack each other. Speed it up a little bit, or else this will probably take forever. And here we have red player building up a castle, starting to start his attack. But we do have Priest having up four castles, so his base is pretty much defended. It's going to keep red player out of there, but he does have a trebuchet on the way. But Priest already has the trebuchet up and ready to attack his trebuchet, and he was able to send in a few warriors, take out a trebuchet. Good thing to do. It's worth wasting a few units to attack trebuchets, because I would rather a few units die than to lose a castle. And if he's not careful here, he's got 3 trebuchets, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to send in those units, attack those trebuchets. He's got 2 down, 1 barely hanging on. Red player's got just 1 trebuchet right now, just barely hanging on with half HP. Priest doing a very good job with that army control, sending those archers in, using great patrol. Not so much patrol, but just controlling them very well, making it so they all fire at one time. If anybody here is new and doesn't know much about army control, you can head over to the AOC Realm forums, and we have a great article about army control, and I'll be making a video about that here sooner or later, and it'll teach you a little more about the army control if you really don't know much about it. mYsTikaLSouL was able to find those houses, though, and started attacking them, stopped his villager from creating that town center and that monastery. But the monastery is up, but he hasn't started collecting any relics yet. Red player is doing a little bit of expanding. I'd say the main thing that these Mayan civilization is going to need is going to be gold and wood. The food is not really going to be too much for Mayans. You're not going to see a lot of farms in this game. Both players have a lot of food and a lot of wood still. The main thing is going to be gold. Pretty cheap on the food. Sending those units in to kill that single siege weapon. Now bringing them back. One great tactic is always going to be sending your army in and pulling them back, trying to get your enemy units to follow you into a defensive situation. Trying to get that castle up, being somewhat of the more aggressor right now. Now we have Priest sending a few units down, trying to stop as much expansion as he can to those gold piles from the red player, mYsTikaLSouL. That castle is about to go down. A few more trebuchet fire, and that castle is gone. And now all of a sudden, red player is going to have to push back. What he should do is build another castle around here to try to protect his army and his trebuchet, or else Priest is going to be able to march right in there and attack all that. Uh-oh, and we do have, all of a sudden, mYsTikaLSouL is going to have to turn his attention to the bottom portion of the map, or else that would have been a real big problem. We do have Priest expanding the map to where he took out mYsTikaLSouL a second ago. Both players playing pretty much the exact same game. Did a really great job. Priest just did a really great job sending in those short range units to take out those trebuchets. Well worth it from instead of having a castle go down. has a little bit of a problem with his villagers. Has too many villagers on that gold pile. He's going to send a few to the food. As you can see, we're 25 minutes into it, and players have just now started creating farms. As I said, the mines just don't really need too much food. So if you ever seem to be playing with the mines, you can really hold off on creating those farms for a little bit. And if I would have to predict who's going to win this game, right now it just seems like Priest has a little bit more than mYsTikaLSouL has. And here he goes, sending in a few raiding parties, but he's going to have to do something to take out that castle. I think that castle is going to tear those units up. And here we go, mYsTikaLSouL counterattacking that, setting up another castle, setting in a few barracks, try to protect his protect that side of his base. But we just have a lot of now we have trebuchet fire coming in, trying to kill that castle that was just put up. And I would say that is the main front right here. Both players' main army up there. Now we have Priest retreating just a little bit, but now coming right back in with a few rams, trying to take out that castle. First thing, retreating once again. And now we have mYsTikaLSouL creating a few farms. mYsTikaLSouL has no food whatsoever, very low on his gold, not really doing such a great job on his resources. It just looks like Priest is about to take this right now. mYsTikaLSouL has Priest has no gold, very little food, very little wood, but it just seems like overall he has a little bit more. And there we have GG, mYsTikaLSouL resigning, and we're going to go ahead and jump into our next game. All right, welcome everybody to our last and final game. We have Persians against Persian. We do have a stalemate. Both players are able to be even. In our last game, we had Turks versus Turks and Gold Rush. I wasn't able to bring you that map, but I am going to be able to bring you Persians against Persians, a few highlights from this game. Really don't have enough space on my computer, but the winner of this game is going to be the winner to go on to round 3, and the winner of this game is going to play the winner of the Sacrifice Baba Shadan game. And don't want to go ahead and ruin it for you, but it is going to be Priest that is going to go on to round 3, and just want to wish him luck. I'm going to have to end the game here. Don't have enough space, like I said. And if you want to watch the entire game of this, I suggest you do it. It was a pretty good Persians on Persians. The Turks game wasn't too good. That's why I didn't bring it to you. But just want to wish everybody a good day, and see you in round 3.